If you
I
want
missed
to
this
push
one,
it
I'll get the next
live,
one.
Mark, we'll have a couple minutes just to make sure, because I know it takes a minute sometimes for it to like kick in. Yep, let's do it.
Claxton,
We
man,
need a
I'm
water
jumping
sponsor,
on our
people.
Rock and Talk show. I got to talk to you later. Okay, bye.
We need a sponsor, period.
I'm just putting it out there. If anybody's watching it and wants to give us a water sponsor, because
We drink lots
you
of
got to
water.
go for the jug in the summertime here.
When you drink
It's
as
so
much
humid right
tequila
now.
as we do, you need to follow it with a lot of water. It's important.
Yeah, water is essential for people of all habits, whether they want to be healthy or make up for not being healthy. Water is essential if you're out there.
Yeah, there you go. Your feed's a little slow, Kenny. Your Wi-Fi is freezing every now and then, but
It's right
not
behind.
much.
Is it behind the beat? So that means I'm being, I've got the groove.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think,
Or am I
Mark?
too far behind the beat?
We're
I don't
live.
know what's up.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Here
we
we
might
go.
be missing. We're missing a couple of our homies, but I think. What do you guys think? Should we start the show?
I think we should start the show.
Let's kick it,
Yep.
man.
Let's
All right,
go.
Let's do it. Here we go. We're gonna start this baby right now.
The Rock and Talk Show, Beyond Backstage, with your hosts, Norwood Fisher, Kenny Olson, Scott Page, Stephen Perkins, Sheila Conlon, and David Moss.
And welcome to the Rock and Talk Show. This is the bi-monthly show that dives deep into the entertainment industry, the business of it, the stories around it, the culture, and everything in between. I'm the Moss Man. Let me quickly introduce my co-hosts. We're down a couple, but they might be popping in throughout the day. But first and foremost, we've got the one and only Scotty Page from Pink Floyd. We've got Norwood Fisher from Fishbone, and we have the legendary guitarist, Experience Hendrix, and formerly Kid Rock, Kenny Olson right here. And we're missing our brother, Stephen Perkins, who's in the studio right now, rehearsing with Porno for Pyros and leaving tomorrow for Chicago to go play Lollapalooza. And of course, Sheila Conlon, who is in Denver, gearing up for a big thing that, Scott, why don't you talk about
tomorrow.
why is Sheila not with us?
Sheila's not with us because a lot of people might know, but I'm heavily in the NFT space, and we're co-producing an event in Denver, Colorado called Future Shape 360. It's 360 token holders, all the builders, the Web3 folks that are actually moving and shaking. It's going to be a great killer thing. So we've got a big mansion party on Friday, which ends up at Meow Wolf, and we're getting a private concert with Dead Mouse that night. The next day we have conference. The next night we have the Fillmore with Don Diablo and a whole bunch of folks. And that's going to be cool. And then more conferences on Sunday. And then Sunday night, we're at Real Works with a whole immersive kind of experience. And it's all about, where's the future of NFTs and Web3 going? So, yeah, I'm really excited about it. Our lovely Sheila Conlon, who has been really producing the event, is on her way there now. I think she's at the airport. Hopefully she'll pop in a few minutes. But, yeah, very excited about this one. This is going to be great.
Well, good luck.
Doesn't sound like you're going to get a
Thank
lot
you.
of sleep, Scott. You better make sure you got a lot of vitamin C in your
And water.
yeah, water.
Water, lots of water, especially at that altitude, right?
Don't forget your edibles. They'll just keep you cruising as well. Make sure.
Hey, you know who else is playing with us too? Don't forget the Leftover Salmon is playing at the mansion party for us.
My
Oh, right
homies,
on.
Buddies.
will you please give Vince and Drew a big hug for me and
I
tell
will.
them Moss Man misses them, and I'm sorry I couldn't make it.
Yep, definitely will.
And Kenny,
Yeah.
you just did a charity golf tournament. Talk about that. How'd that go?
My 6th annual Kenny Rock and Roll golf tournament, and it went really well. We even sold out. We ran out of golf carts to where we didn't even have extra golf carts for the shenanigans, people to drive around and heckle the golfers. Well, we had a few, but concert went great. We did have one guy have a heat stroke, but he's okay.
Okay,
It was a
good.
little scary at the moment, but I get a
Heat
quite
stroke
of
or
a
heat exhaustion? Did he go away in an ambulance or was he
actually
okay?
a friend of mine actually, and he had a heart attack about a month and a half ago.
Oh, wow.
And it was definitely it was a heat stroke. He had to go to the hospital, but he's okay.
Good.
And but yeah, that was it's like I said, people of all it's my golf outings are quite unique group of people. You
I
could
can
make
only-
a cartoon out
Did
of it.
you open the first one with the guitar hitting the golf ball? Did you do that routine?
This one I didn't hit the annual guitar that I usually use to hit the golf ball. Wasn't there, but I just had to do it verbally and thank everybody. And we did raise a lot of money for my cousin Hallie's endowment
Awesome.
for women with ovarian cancer. And the auction went great. Everybody had a good time. So
Awesome.
and the weather, it was scary because the weather, I won't get long-winded, but the weather on the app, weather app was saying like lightning, rain, and all kinds of stuff for that last Sunday. And literally like it rained at like 7, 8, 9 in the morning, whatever. And just like before the golf outing started, just sun came out.
So this was
Wow.
musician hours.
Yeah.
So this was musicians hours because when you say 7, 8, usually on the tee, that usually starts. So what time did your tournament start?
Yeah, the shotgun started at 1. So everybody played
Oh.
18, and then I did my concert with friends and had a lot of my Michigan peeps from here. And we just we rocked it out and had fun.
Oh,
Nice. Oh,
Shut
yay.
up. Hi, Sheila.
Hi, Sheila. Look
Where
at
are
you.
you?
Hi.
Turn
How
your
are
phone.
you?
Can you
Sheila.
hear me?
Yeah, but turn
Where-
your phone.
She's
There
not
you
coming up on
go.
my
There
screen.
you go.
Where are you, Sheila?
Are you alive? Are you alive?
Yeah, I'm live. I'm here with Jack. Say hi to Jack.
Hey,
Yo,
Jack,
Jack.
what up?
Jack.
Good,
And
man.
then
We got the
there's
A team.
Hola.
Oh, Tanner, we got the A team getting ready. Here we go, man. It's production time.
Jack.
That's right.
Hey, Jack.
We're here ready to do FS 360 in Denver, Colorado.
Yippee.
Awesome.
I know
Hey,
we got a
hey.
little delayed. So yes, I don't mean to jump in. This is I feel so bad. I always feel like I'm on the road and in a crazy spot. How's
Hey,
everybody else doing?
you're a busy woman,
we're
that's
just-
a good thing. That's
We're
a
just
good
gonna have to
thing.
dock your pay. That's it. We're just gonna have to dock your pay from the show.
Half
Yeah.
pay this week, Sheila. Half pay.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. I only get for my screen time, right?
Yeah,
Only my
exactly.
screen time.
Exactly.
Got it.
We'll all take one for the team. We'll all take a pay cut for you. It's because we love
my
you. Hey,
God.
Jack. Where's
Yo.
Jack? There's a lot of hot babes there.
So far, I haven't noticed any, but I'll
All right,
keep
make
you
sure you
up.
put in a good word for the old man.
Yeah, you'll be working on it, I'm sure.
I'll try my best.
Good boy. We get to live vicariously through you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
we're just
I don't
just
want to
doing the-
hear anything.
Mom
We're
doesn't
just-
want to hear anything.
We're just
though.
doing the old catch up. I mean, we have to also quickly thank last week's guests, Butch Denner from the tour manager for Live On Helm and the band. It was amazing to have
That was
Butch
fun.
on. And I apologize for, I was in the middle of nowhere. So at least everybody else's stream worked okay, but mine kept freezing, but it was still fun. And Taylor Saxon, like
Ooh.
she is killing it.
Yeah.
She's going to be here in Los Angeles at the Mint on July 31st. So that's coming up next week. So whoever's in town, make sure you head out to the Mint on July 31st to see them.
Yeah, she's incredible.
Wow. Oh my God, I
But you-
really want to see her. But we're not going to be there, Scott. We're going to be
Nope,
in
we
Denver.
won't. We'll be in Denver.
I'll go
Denvering it up.
see her for you guys. I'll go
Okay.
see
You do
her
that.
for you guys, and
Perfect.
I'll let you know how it is.
Hey, David, we got the tickets for Robert Plant and Allison Krauss.
Ah, awesome. Sounds
Ooh, that's
great.
going to be a good one, man.
That is going
I
to be a
love
good
that
one.
record. That first record, man, that was so good.
Does anyone know?
right?
Are they
Yeah, it's a
married?
good album.
Are Robert Plant and Alison Krauss married?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No.
I'm not sure. I heard they were, but I couldn't find anything to back it up. So I guess we'll have to go
I
with
think
they're
our
not.
goal is when we see them that we have to recruit them for the show.
100%. I mean,
That'd
you
be
know,
pretty awesome.
that would be okay to get Robert Plant on the show. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
he's super connected with Little Feat, by the way. You know, Richie Hayward, when John Bonham passed away and Robert Plant did his first 2 solo records and tours, he could have had obviously any drummer in the world, and he chose Richie Hayward.
Wow.
And Richie Hayward was his drummer. And when Richie Hayward was going through his cancer and he couldn't get medical attention here in the US, Robert Plant helped Richie get to Canada. Canada, and get the medical attention that he needed. So that'd be amazing to have Robert.
I had no idea he played. I had no idea Richie played with him. That's interesting.
First 2 records and first 2 or 3 tours. Richie was Robert's freaking drummer. So hey, you guys, we have an amazing show today, and I don't want to delay any longer. I want to bring in our first guest. We have the amazing Luther Dickinson that's joining us. Luther, best known for the North Mississippi Allstars. Luther plays with a million different artists. He was with the Black Crowes, which I learned today through Sheila that I thought it was just a short stint, but it was a little longer than I realized. So welcome to the Rock and Talk Show, Luther. How are you, buddy?
Great. How are you guys?
Hey, Luther.
We're
Good,
good.
man.
Luther, say hello to Norwood Fisher. Sheila Conlon over here, who missed our sound check. She's in Denver working on an NFT event that Scott and her are doing together. You got Kenny Olson and Scotty Page.
Luther and I have known each other quite a long time.
That's awesome.
He remember him and I hanging when we were still touring an RV.
Any stories that you guys can share that are you know, R-rated or
what we might remember? I just remember, you know, while we're talking about some of Luther's history, when we around that era we met, I have to compliment, because you've done so much amazing work, and I've always, besides being a friend, you know, love your abilities, and you're just you're such a soulful player. And I mean, but I remember when you were doing the John Spencer Blues Explosion, wasn't that around that same time?
Yeah.
When you did those, like the late 90s, and I was like, because that was just, me and Bones were like, dude, Luther's fucking badass, dude. And you did that because that was like late 90s, right? When you did that or something, 2000, like, because we were in the RV in that era, and we knew that we were talking about that, and Bones and I were all like, that was all this cool street cred. We were like going, dude. And then that was before Aaron joined the band, like you said.
Man, the backstory of this is so funny. Like for us, you know, we grew up in the city. This is a local gig for us. We're like, hey, we want to add this group to the
Luther, we're not hearing you so good. There's something up with your mic. Like it's not coming through very good. I'm not sure.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's much better.
Okay, good.
Now you're good. There you go.
Oh, what's happening?
Yeah. So can you say that again, my brother? What you just said?
Yeah. So the backstory that we're referencing, North Mississippi Allstars, we were just playing another local gig in Jaxon, Mississippi. And the promoter called us. They're like, hey, can we hire this group? They're on a promo run. We want to add this group to the show. And we'd never heard of Kid Rock. We didn't know. And man, we were like, sure, we don't care, whatever. So, man, y'all rolled up in the RV. No, we rolled up. Y'all were already sound checking. Man, it was full on. I mean, it was like Radio Shack production. You know what I mean? But it was good. It was getting the job done. And like, I remember at sound check, Bob was like, all right, hit the DAT. And somebody hit the DAT because there was no bass player. And y'all were like, but man, y'all killed it. And you packed the place out, tore the house down. And we're like, oh, this is going to be a fun show. But dude, after y'all played, everybody left, man. We were in there. It was just like y'all loading out. And then you guys blew up like 2 months after that.
Yeah. But I mean, we like I said, I had mad respect because you just have such a cool style, but you're one of the real chosen one players that I, knew that then. And like I was saying, me and Bones and all that stuff were like, I always talked about like when Aaron would stay in touch with you and stuff too. And we were always just like, man. Yeah, so I've followed a lot of some stuff that you've done through the years, and it's very cool. So
well, I'm glad to talk to all you guys
for you.
I mean,
Man, thank
Luther,
you.
I'm also a longtime big fan. I mean, I've seen you countless times, and like Kenny's saying, tell us a little bit about. I mean, you and your bro, like Cody, you guys started the band. How old were you guys when you started? Give us some history on the North Mississippi Allstars and how it came about.
Well, you know, like most second generation rock and rollers, we were kind of late bloomers. Like we started the band in 96 and I was like, I don't know, mid 20s, I guess. I'm not too good with them. Yeah, I guess I was 23 or 4. I'm not too good with the math. But our dad was Jim Dickinson. He was a Memphis musician, rock, like first generation rock and roller. Quick, long story short, like he sang on the last proper Sun Records single. Like the last Yellow Label single, he sang on it. And then he went on to work for Atlantic Records, and he worked with like Aretha Franklin and Albert King, Albert Collins. He played on Bob Dylan's Time Out of Mind, Rolling Stones' Wild Horses. So we grew up like rock and roll kids with our dad and his crew. And then, but we were just playing like punk rock, do it yourself, experimental, psychedelic rock. We were real experimental until the early 90s, and the hill country music caught us, man. We were already living in Mississippi, and then we got hip really because of Fat Possum Records, just like everybody else. That there's R.L. Burnside, and then my friend Other Turner took me down to Junior Kimbrough's juke joint, and I was already hip to Mississippi Fred McDowell, but he was long gone, you know, with this hill country style of music. Just turned me out, man. And we were fortunate enough to grow up right here. And all these R.L. Burnside, Junior Kimbrough, Other Turner, they all had musical families with kids like our age. So once we all hooked up, you know, they had a juke joint nightclub and we had a studio. So man, it was on, you know. And
did you ever hear that record that me and Bones did with R.L. Burnside, the Bottom Mind record?
It's a classic. The last time I played that record was back in December. I was in Eric Gale's van. You know Eric Gale's?
Yeah.
Eric's
Eric
and he was like
toured together for years.
Really?
And Hendrix.
Yes.
On all the Experience Hendrix tours. Him and I were the original guitar players of the Turn of Band of Gypsies with Buddy Miles and Billy Cox.
Man.
You
got to play with Billy? You got to play with Billy?
With him for
exactly,
many years.
Right? Like
Yeah,
Kenny played with
me and Eric and
the
Buddy
royalty.
Guy, the 3 original guys on the Experience Hendrix.
Damn, man, Billy is what a soulful cat. That's a whole nother story.
But the
Billy
roots,
Cox.
you talk about like Eric Gale,
Oh, Eric put on that record.
Yeah, Eric and I were both on a bunch of stuff together. But being from Memphis, Eric and your roots and being born there, it was like I've always just been so blown away by people like you and Eric, the amazing talent that comes out of Memphis. It's like me being from Detroit. There's like this breeding ground there because I've got to I go over and hang out with I've got to record at Sam Phillips' place, and that was like an honor. And then Boo Mitchell's a good buddy of mine. I've gone over to Royal Studios, and it's so amazing in Memphis. I just freaking love that city. It's like one of my people like I said, that people have come out of there. It's like the real deal Holyfield, you know.
Man, it's been so fortunate to grow up there. Detroit too, man. Detroit, tough musicians coming out of Detroit, man.
Yeah.
So when you started North Mississippi Allstars, you guys were a trio. Was that how it started? You, Cody, and Carl?
Man, you know, we were always a loose collective. Carl was not original. We had our long-term bass player was Chris Chu. He was a giant, big dude, man. But he became a full-time rock and roll bus driver, man. Like the money pulled him in, man. He made more money driving those buses than playing guitar. And but we still play together, but he was the original bass player. And our dad used to play keyboards with us. We've had tons of musicians and singers. I always look towards like, you know, Parliament Funkadelic, or, you know, the idea of a collective, you know. And down in Mississippi, the hills, like it was the repertoire that bonded everybody. All the different families played the same version, their own different versions of the same tunes. You guys heard Cedric Burnside? Man, he is still crushing it.
Yeah, he's on that record too. And like I met Cedric when he through Tino and in the Fat Possum guys back in the day, and that was he's badass. Oh, that's seeds.
Luther, are you familiar with Norwood's collective? He's got like a 30+ year collective called Trulio Disgracius, which is basically like, you know, right after Parliament. I think that's probably the big motivation for it. Yeah, Norwood?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
Trulio's fun.
Just
That's a fun
nurturing talent, you know, and
Exactly.
giving other musicians a space to express themselves, you know,
Yeah.
as much as possible.
Have you guys ever played together, Norwood and Luther?
Oh,
I don't think
wish.
so.
That needs to happen.
I thought about it. I'm like, damn, we had to play a festival, something along the way, but maybe not.
We need to.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Make our own festival.
That's right.
Come out and do a Think X gig with us one of these days.
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be way cool.
You know, it's funny, like for all us cats fans, like when we started out, we were the young guys, and now we're the older guys nurturing the younger talent. You know what I mean?
Well, that's like, I mean, like Norwood's one of those people that you look at, like Bootsy, the Billy Bass, they've handed that torch to him. You can ask Flea, anybody. Norwood is like the man, you know. I'm for my brothership with my dear friend Norwood, for, you know, that means the world to me because he's the man. He connects people.
No, but Kenny, wait, y'all was talking about Billy Cox though, right? And so my 50th birthday, on my 50th birthday, I get me and Ken, I don't remember, you called me, you probably called me to say happy birthday.
Yeah.
And you said something about Billy Cox, and probably one of the most incredible things ever was you gave me Billy Cox's phone number. So I got to talk to Billy Cox on my 50th birthday. Ooh. That was one of the most meaningful things in my life. And then the next day in Pittsburgh to go pick up go run into Billy Bass.
Yeah.
You know, that was like on my, as I crossed the threshold into like real, like, oh, I'm halftime. You know, third quarter, halftime.
The Billy Train Junction.
You know.
Yeah.
My favorite Billy story is I heard that they were asking about the tuning, you know, and he said that Jimmy would retune after every song, and none of it was in 440. Like he was tuning by ear after every song. Oh, yeah. And Billy said he would just tune to him. And I was like, man, that is the most brotherly, cooperative, beautiful thing I've ever heard, man. The way Billy and Jimmy played in unison, the hours they must have put together is just like, it's one of my favorite rock and roll pairings, you know, those two guys.
Well, you know, when it's a little out of tune, it just sounds like there's more of you. So it's okay. You know, you got to be careful about it. Sometimes it really works when it's a little out of tune, right? You got to be careful not to change that, right?
Yeah, and they had that Army base bond.
Yeah.
You know what
Going
I mean?
back to 64, 65, 64.
Man,
it's they used to jam in Nashville. They were at Fort Campbell, and they'd go down to Nashville and go back in Printer's Alley and do little jam sessions in there. And you know, and Jimmy finally kind of had his problems at the end with Noel and him not, you know, kind of bucking heads a little bit. Jimmy's like, I'm calling on my old buddy and bringing my old true soul brother back. Senior, and look at the magic between what they continue to do as the experience, but also being the Gypsies. It's like, I mean, I've played so many years. I've been so blessed to play with Billy. And I did the song, The Last Gypsy Standing, with Billy that he wrote. And I got to do
Sorry, you guys.
Solo.
I'm like
Jimmy Hendrix
trying to figure out what's going on here.
Uh-oh.
We're going to town.
We're
All
good
right,
here.
guys. Something is playing, and it just like I could not figure out what that was. Were you hearing that? I'm really sorry.
I didn't notice it until you said something.
Okay, good.
That could have been Buddy Miles or somebody playing, you know, or Mitch.
Right.
That's right. Visitation.
Trying to get our attention somehow. You know, they got Luther on her show and Norwood, like all these, you know, legendary people and Scott, and they're like, hey, we want to chime in.
Hey, Luther, I imagine you grew up knowing William Bell.
Oh yeah, he's on our new record, man.
I caught that. I checked that out.
We didn't grow up knowing him, but
Okay.
We became friends. They made a movie called Take Me to the River with older Memphis musicians and the younger generation. And they made a movie of all these collaborations, like William and Snoop Dogg did a track with my brother, and they became friends. And then William invited us to come to his studio and write. Man, I mean, he is the coolest cat in the world.
Wow.
And that's why Snoop Dogg got involved with Take Me to the River, because he just loved William so much.
Yeah.
Man, I've never written a song like this. We came in and William had the whole plot. It was like a movie, like a story. He had the whole plot and the way it all was going to play out and what was going to happen. And it's called Never Want to Be Kissed, meaning the last kiss before your girlfriend breaks up with you. And man, so we just sat with him and made his story rhyme and found out what chords underneath he was singing and followed his lead. And then we just had we left with just a voice memo, and we chopped it up and put it to a click track and started overdubbing on it, man. We put the full band of horns and strings and sent it back to William, and he hooked us up, man. William is a prince.
Wow.
William's a king. I mean, he's the smoothest. He's the smoothest. And he's still the ladies, man. Don't bring your girlfriend around William Bell.
Right.
And the last time I saw him, we went in Atlanta to his studio to overdub some other vocals with our friend Lamar Williams Jr. And William was in there, and he'd been in there for 3 days and nights, sleeping in the studio, writing a new song. Just him and his DA88s. You remember the old little videotape recorders? Oh, yeah. He was running the DA88s, and he wrote this song. But man, he was in his studio for 3 days and nights straight. And when we showed up, he called his wife and he was like, well, I'm not coming home after all. The boys just showed up. But just that dedication is, man, you don't get, he's such an inspiration. William Bell, Mavis Staples, Buddy Guy. How old is Buddy Guy now, man? I just
saw him. He's 85.
I mean, we just saw him in New Orleans. And Mavis Staples. Like, she killed it. She was amazing.
That's what's cool. Like when you go into Luther can tell you, when you go into Boo Mitchell's studio, where his dad did all these records even before all legendary stuff Boo's done in there, and you see all those 2-inch reels that are still all sitting shelf with Mavis and everybody now. Yeah, and then you just go in there. You just want to even just smell the 2-inch reel boxes and just go
smell the boxes.
But some of it, after rock and roll lifestyle, a lot of people can't smell anymore.
Sure, a bunch of that for sure.
Luther, you got your guitar in your hand, and we'd love it if you'd play something.
All right, it's actually one of my daughter's guitars. It's pink.
Looks like a little dobro of some sort.
Yeah, this is a little bit too, but after you play a little bit about what you've been working on recently too.
Yeah. And I want to know about that poster behind you. What the heck is that?
I'll tell you. This actually, I put nylon strings on this resonator, and it's a trippy instrument, man. Resonator with nylon strings. It took a year for it to settle down and tune up, but I've been doing a film score, and this has been real useful on that film score. But anyway,
so you said it took a year for the strings you put on to get, so you've had them on a year?
Oh, they've been on about 3 years now, but yeah, seriously, when I first put these nylon strings on, I mean, you're not supposed to put nylons on a resonator. No. But every time I picked it up, they would have stretched down, then they hold pretty well now. But I'll do Up and Rolling, man, because you mentioned that at sound check, and I
love it, man.
I was thinking about it. All right. Amazing. I'm gonna take my headphones off. I'll see you cats in a minute.
Go ahead. Okay.
Grew up on Mississippi, hippie tripping, LSD, smoking stems and seeds and drinking mushroom tea. We're drinking mushroom tea. We're drinking mushroom tea. Grew up on Mississippi, hippie tripping LSD. Yeah, we were up and rolling. Yeah, we were up and rolling. Smoking them things with our friends. Yeah, we were up and rolling. Extension cords out the window of our rails, single wide, singing through a PV, sounding good outside. We're sounding good outside. We sounding good outside. Extension cords out the window of our rails, single wide. Yeah, we were up and rolling. Yeah, we were up and rolling. Singing the blues with our friends. Yeah, we were up and rolling. Up on Mississippi, hippie tripping LSD.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
That guitar sounds
Oh, yeah.
killer with those guitar sounds
It
killer with
does.
those strings on,
It
man. That is
sounds-
trippy sound, right?
That's a trip, right?
That's such an
Yeah.
awesome song. Actually, the first time I heard you play that song was at McCabe's guitar shop.
Oh,
And
man.
I think I've seen a million shows at McCabe's over the year, but that was the first time I've ever seen like a full band electric setup at McCabe's. All three of you, rest in peace. Carl was there.
Yeah, Carl was.
And man, that's such a cool song. And I'm guessing that, you know, it's all fiction.
Hey, I'm owning it up to it, man. Fuck 'em. What are they gonna do? You know, that second verse is about R.L. Burnside's. Besides Othar Turner's barbecue goat picnic, Big Mama Burnside's birthday party was the best party in the hills, man. It was R.L. Burnside's wife, and every year they'd have a huge family reunion musical party for her birthday. And he 2 years in a row, he called me up on the phone and invited us to come play. Like we were just the young dudes, like studying his music. We idolized him and his family, and he would invite us to come play. But then it was so funny, man, because we're in the carport, and literally like the extension cords and the amp cords are coming out the window, for the power. And in Mississippi, we still say like, you had a good gig when at the end of the gig, you like wipe the dirt off your guitar cord, It's just like dirt and mud and grime.
Oh yeah.
So
Like,
but Burnside would sit there in a lawn chair and we'd all be, he and his family would play and then we'd have to play. He'd sit there in front of us and request that we play his songs. So, so we'd have to play like Going Down South or like Junior Come all night long. He would just sit there and point at us and laugh. Just laughing at us. And by then we had like psychedelic improvisational segues and interludes that we built into these hill country songs. That was kind of part of what we did, was incorporated the psychedelic Allman Brothers, Jimi Hendrix stuff that we grew up on with the hill country repertoire. And my brother would be back there on the drums and we get to the solo sections and I just keep it traditional. He'd be like, go man, go, let's do it. And I'd be like, no, man, no, we ain't gonna do it. And he'd be like, go, motherfucker, go. You know how your brother on the drums cussing you out. So we'd go into it and we'd get hit like some Allman Brothers or some, and then RL, he would just laugh harder and harder at us. He'd be like, these motherfuckers.
When we did that version, we did the version of going south, and he and I didn't know what he was going to say, like, because I never, he died right after we finished that record.
Yeah.
And on that song, I did all the guitars, but there was no bass player there. So I did the bass line too, doing that. Bow now, bow now, bow, bow, down, bow, bow, bow. And I'm like going, what are they going to, because I ended up having to do all the guitars and bass on that track. And a lot of people don't know I was a bass player on it too, because it was just me and Tino and Jimmy Bones putting that thing together and then sending it to him back and forth for the guys. And as soon as we got the whole record done, we lost him. And it was just like,
I was gonna ask Norwood, you ever had your brother cuss at you from back behind the
drum? You should have seen your face just now, Norwood. Your face was... I guess not.
Oh man, I don't know if you know Luther, but Norwood's bro Fish is like a badass drummer.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Oh man. So Black Crowes, how'd that come about?
Man, they hired me in 2007 and we made a record called War Paint.
Great record. I love that record.
And then we made another one called Before the Frost, After the Freeze, or something like that. Oh. And they were really writing some great tunes. Then we recorded a Crowology, which was acoustic versions of all their greatest hits. Man, and so I quit in 2013. But actually,
so was that was Rich still in the band?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Rich is who brought me in, and Steve Gorman, the drummer, told me that he was that I'm the only guitar player Rich brought in. Every other guitar player Chris had brought in.
Wow.
But man, I haven't read Gorman's book, The Life and Death of the Black Crowes, but everybody says it's a great read. But man, that was so fun, dude. It was just top of the game, man. It was really, really, really fun. But at the time I quit, man, I was so burned out. We had like almost 200 tunes worked up, and I just didn't want to play any of them at that. I just couldn't do it anymore. I didn't know why. I didn't have any other work. It was like the loudest gut instinct I've ever heard. Like usually, you say listen to your gut or whatever. It's just a whisper, like, oh, hey, don't take a right, don't take a left. Yeah, exactly. But that one, man, it was just my gut just going like, no.
And looking back at that decision now, are you glad you made that decision?
Yeah, it worked out, man, because my wife did not support my decision. We had a rough patch behind that. She couldn't believe I quit the band against her wishes, but it worked out in the end because Phil Lesh started hiring me, and I did not grow up with the Grateful Dead music, and I didn't know the music, but having to learn it to work with Phil Lesh was really fun. And it was like exactly what I wanted, a whole new challenge, a whole new repertoire, a whole new style. Cool thing about the Jerry Garcia's guitar playing is like his influences were the same as my dad's. Yeah, like, I wasn't influenced by him, but I know Charlie Christian and T-Bone Walker and Chuck Berry and Django and all the other, musicians that he grew up listening to, Doc Watson, it's, Mississippi John Hurt, et cetera, et cetera. So, and if you like improvisational, psychedelic rock and roll, playing with those cats is like mainlining right into it,
That's it. That's the pinnacle for sure.
Yeah. So it really did work out.
Was that the Phil and Friends tours?
Yeah.
So I Paul Barrere and Bill Payne did a short stint, a couple of weeks, and Bob Dylan was like on that. Were you on that run?
No, that would have been amazing.
Yeah. That was
Damn.
pretty cool. I remember going to the Ventura County Fairgrounds with Richie Hayward, and Richie had just finished a tour with Bob Dylan. And obviously Little Feat, is drummer, but Bill and Paul were playing with Phil and Friends. And so me and Richie were hanging on the stage watching the show together. And afterwards me and Paul and Richie went into Bob Dylan's dressing room and shared some of Mother Nature's finest together in Bob Dylan's dressing room, which was an amazing, fun experience.
Right on. Right on.
That's cool. So what else? What do you got going now? Like what's up with Luther and the North Mississippi Allstars? We're going to be seeing you anytime soon out on the road?
But sorry, before the record, the brothers were total professional gentlemen, man. It was really fun run. They didn't do anything to run me out. I just really was burned out and had to follow my heart on that one, and there's no ill will, but
you still talk to the guys,
to walk away from a big thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that is,
I just saw them.
It's quite a statement, like in your own sort of just, what, this is not right. I'm walking away from the greatest gig you can have, and you're here you are, killing it, having a good time and smiling and laughing, right?
Yeah, we're doing good, man. We're playing we made our quarantine record, like everybody else. It came out and set sail. North Mississippi Allstars set sail, and so we're back in the game, doing a bunch of shows. My brother Cody and I. Lamar Williams Jr. is singing with us. He's a great cat, man. His father was the second bass player in the Allman Brothers, who grew up with J-Mo. So J-Mo's actually from the Gulf Coast of Mississippi, and so is Lamar Williams Sr. So when Barry Oakley passed, right after Dwayne died, they both passed right within 6 months. J-Mo brought in Lamar Williams, and man, I met Lamar working with Devin Allman and Dwayne Betts and the Barry Oakley Jr., the whole Allman Brothers extended family. And
Dwayne on the show recently.
Yeah, I saw that. Isn't he a cool cat?
Cool guy, man. Great dude.
I feel like I saw
youngster.
Lamar was playing with you in New Orleans with Dwayne and Lamar and you and Eric Krasno.
Exactly.
That was badass, dude. That was freaking badass. That was one of my highlights of the whole Jazz Fest, was that set that you guys
thank you
at the Crawfish Boil. That was amazing.
We had Kirk Joseph on sousaphone, the electric sousaphone. Man, that's a bass player right there. His pedal board is as big as Doug's. Hey, we did a show with Parliament in Atlanta in the early 2000s, and that's where I met Eric McFadden in Freedom Park. It was a free
Eric's
show.
A good friend of all of ours.
Yeah.
Right.
I was thinking.
Was he playing mandolin at that time?
Yeah, that was crazy. I love Eric.
Have you seen Eric and his and Kate?
They're
Kate
so
Vargas?
good.
Yeah, they're badass. They're awesome.
So good. I'm happy for them
on the show.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we are, we're down to the last 15 minutes of the show. And as we always do, we bring in a new sort of up and coming artist that we like to showcase and introduce here on the Rock and Talk Show. And man, we have got a young up and coming artist to showcase on the Rock and Talk Show today. So I think I'd like to, don't go away, Luther, hang out till the end of the show.
Yeah, Luther, can you hang till after the show? We gotta Gotta get your, you know.
But I want to bring in this young man. His name, first of all, he's got the look. I mean, he's got the rock and roll look already at age 11. He's got the name Champ Jaxon, and he's got the skills.
You just got to get a mullet.
voice,
We
too.
just got to get him to get his mullet. No, just kidding.
Welcome
No,
to the
he
Rock
can-
and
he
Talk
can-
Show, Champ Jaxon. How are you, Champ?
I'm doing great.
Where are
What's
you?
up, brother?
I'm in Southwest Florida, in Punta Gorda right now.
Awesome.
Wow.
Well, introduce you real quickly. And you met some of us on the sound check. Maybe everyone. You got Luther Dickinson up here.
What's up, young blood?
Hello.
We got Norwood Fisher over there from Fishbone. Say hello.
Hey.
Scotty
Right,
Page right here from Pink Floyd. And you got
Go.
Kenny Olson, who toured with Jimi Hendrix's band and Kid Rock. So there you go. Like, pretty amazing.
Yeah, I've been watching you a lot lately, Champ. I'm so happy to hear you're going to be on the show because I've been following you for a while. And dude,
Yeah.
you're crazy cool. It's like
Thank
crazy
you.
cool. It's so exciting
gotta-
to see people at your
watching
age
you
like making that kind of music, and especially the
Yeah.
old school stuff, right? Like kind of holding down the traditional thing. So it's great, man. Thank you so much for being on our show.
Thanks for letting me on here.
Very, very impressed. But along with you being the chosen one, now we got all this responsibility on you to help save rock and roll, because
That's it.
you were chosen one to help do
Long-
it. But I think
long
you
live
can.
rock and roll. So, Champ, how
I
old
know
were
you're
you when
already
you?
doing it.
How old were you when you first picked up? Is guitar your first instrument?
So actually, ukulele was, and I got one for my birthday when I was 3, and didn't really make music, made noise. Mainly just annoyed my sister and my parents. But when I was 6, I got kind of a decent guitar, a Squire, and I took lessons for a little bit, and then sports and baseball and football kind of took over for a year, and then when I was 7 or 8, I decided to start getting serious about it and started taking good lessons, and got the band together, started taking vocal lessons, and then it evolved into what it is
Wait,
now.
wait. How old were you when you put the band together?
I was 9.
That's awesome.
All right, righteous.
And clearly, I mean, I see a Dickie Betts photo or picture in the background. So clearly we know that you're heavily influenced by the Almonds, but who else are your main influences? At this point?
Jimi Hendrix, probably Marcus King. I really like him.
Awesome.
He's a big influence. Government Mule,
Boring.
and yeah, a lot of old blues and psychedelic stuff. Yeah.
Well, you hear it, and you're playing them. You have all those beautiful, those fine seasons poured in, and it's awesome. You already can tell what a beautiful old soul you're carrying around with you. So,
Yeah. So what were you before
I'm
this
excited
last
to watch.
before this life? Can you tell us?
How's
Because
school?
obviously you've got the soul there, something you got passed on. You know, it just goes to show reincarnation is a real deal, right? I mean,
that's
it's
what
just-
I'm saying.
you just don't get that kind of like sophistication at that age. It's got to come
and
from
it's
somewhere.
playing and it's singing too. You know, it's
Yeah.
like
Is your family in music? Have they been in it, or is it they had nothing?
So, my dad he's basically kind of was the one who got me into this. And he taught me for a little bit at the beginning, and he's in the band. He's the rhythm guitarist and backup vocals. And he's done some songwriting stuff and some stuff on his own a little bit. But yeah, so it's been a thing that like we've kind of bonded over.
Yeah. So, a question for you: how much do you practice every day?
20 minutes or 30 minutes, but like all spread out. Like it's not 20 minutes and some days it's even an hour, but not all together. I don't just like lock myself in a room and do that. Like I'll play a couple minutes and then I'll go play some video games or something, and I'll come back, play, and yeah, that's kind of how it's always been.
I wish I could have done that, because for me it was like 10 hours a day, man. Just woodshed trying to figure out how to damn play. That was great.
But
I
think-
just put a 20-minute a day
I'm-
and I can play like that. Oh my
I'm
God.
with you though.
That's crazy.
Because
That's
I mean,
crazy.
sometimes with playing guitar, it's good to walk away. It's like for me, when you want to come up with ideas, it's like fishing. And if you just kind of sit down and start noodling around with your guitar, and all of a sudden, instead of practicing being like shredding, you just play these riffs and something like, okay, and it's like a gift from the heavens above, like, oh, here's a cool riff. If you realize you're playing it, take it and start making a song out of it. And that's where.
So when you practice, what do you practice? I'm just curious. Are you playing scales, chord progressions? Is it disciplined, or are you just kind of like making stuff up and going?
It's both. Like, I'll practice scales here and there, but it's a lot of trying to come up with cool riffs or playing like songs. And some of those songs are almost like warm-ups and stuff, and there's maybe one or two songs that I have like note for note, and especially also with singing, I had vocal lessons, and it's like the thing my vocal teacher taught me was that you always want to learn a song and try to get it note for note, and then you can go off of that and do whatever you want, and you can do it better and do the vocal runs better now that you know, hey, this is how it goes.
And how about your ears? I'm just curious. I'm always fascinated by this. So can you just, like, if somebody plays something, can you just automatically kind of pick it up and play it? Do you have that kind of ear set?
So it's kind of, but I can't do it where somebody's playing in the key of G. It'd take a second for me to figure it out. Like, I'd have to, and then, oh, that's key of G. It takes a little bit, but it's getting there.
I'd hate to see what happens if you put 40 minutes a day in.
Yeah, but like you said, talk about like your scales and stuff. Doing that is really where you can connect your own voice vocally and make the guitar a separate voice too, by knowing that where you go. That's like it's a freedom that you get once I totally agree.
I want to know about your lyrics. You write your own lyrics, right?
Yes, with some help and whatever, but I wrote the lyrics for 3 of the songs on the album.
Okay.
Talk about your album. You got an album coming out.
The album's already out. It's called The Grove, and the title track off the album is Born in the Grove, and there are 7 songs on it, one of them being a Crosby, Stills, and Nash song. And
which one?
Here. It's Almost Cut My Hair, but we kind of changed it up quite a bit, and it's a lot more blues and rock. Here's the album.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, and it's one of the things I'm really proud of, and I just can't wait to see the next album or the album after that, and I can't wait to see what I come up with.
Let me ask you one more thing. When you perform live, do you get to play for your peers?
So every once in a while, yeah, I'll have some of my friends come by from school, and I don't bring it up that much in school, but it's a thing that, like, I'll play a little thing at school, or and there's a really good music program at my school too, and so it's like, that's not the thing at school that I'm like super like, oh yeah, I'm Champ Jaxon, yada yada yada, I play music.
Right. But it's the summertime, like you could go. So there's not youth oriented events that you're doing, right?
Yeah, no, not really.
Okay.
We've done some charity stuff, but no, not really.
Nah, I play with the adults. What grade are you in? What grade are you in, Champ? I'm just curious.
I'm going into 7th grade this year.
Awesome.
Wow. And what size strings do you use? I'm curious. 9s, 10s, 11s. What do you play?
10s or 9.5 sometimes.
9.5. I didn't even realize there was a 9.5. I've been a guitar player for years. There's a 9.5.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't even know that. I'm learning. See, you learn something every day here on the Rock and Talk
Show.
It's
a String Joy, I think.
I know the String Joy, folks.
Yeah.
How about playing something for us, Champ? Give us tell us about what you're gonna play.
So this song is called Born in the Grove, and it's about being from Florida and not the beaches and all the fancy hotels and the Disney. It's the 15 miles inland where there's swamp shacks and rednecks. And like all those stories about Florida Man and all that stuff. That's basically where I live.
And this is a song you wrote.
Yes. Oh, there we go. I'm trying to find my pick. All right.
It's not definitely about Juniper.
All right, here it is.
Florida,
Champ
whatever.
Jackson
Juniper.
on the Rock and Talk Show.
Under that mango tree. Well, I took a walk to the pond, sitting under that mango tree. Well, I don't see no gator, but them gators sure see me. Hotels on the beach, where them tourists come to visit. Fancy hotels on the beach. Why don't they come on down to my home? See what flower is to me, yeah. Only home I've ever known. I was born in the grove. Only home I've ever known. Well, I don't know where I'm going, but I know where I was grown.
Wow. The only issue is you're just a little shy and not very aggressive about what you do. Just kidding.
Wow, Champ,
job.
you're awesome,
Man, that
dude.
was-
We're excited to watch you grow and
Yeah.
see where your career takes you, because
Oh, absolutely.
you're already off to a great start.
Thank you.
And I'm telling you, man, you put another 20 minutes in, you're going to double it up, brother.
And don't forget about us old guys when you're on top of the world saving rock and roll.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's happening really fast, and I'm opening up for Government Mule in October at the Clearwater Jazz Holiday, and
Yeah.
they're like one of my favorite bands, and it's just
Oh,
crazy how fast it's going. And I'm
Warren,
opening up for them.
you'll have so much fun. I'm sure you know Warren now and stuff with everything.
Oh, yeah.
He's
I've
such a great
never
guy.
met him, but I'd like to.
Well,
you're
you're
going
going to.
Warren, you guys are going to connect like this. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Warren
And
Luther
I
can
saw-
tell you Warren's awesome.
Great dude.
I saw you playing. I saw a video of you playing with Scott Sherrard.
Yeah.
Now, I'm very close with the Little Feat family, My son started playing drums when he was 3 years old. He's 30 now, but Richie Hayward was his mentor, and Little Feat were the first humans he ever played with.
Wow.
And you remind me a lot of when my kid was your age, and he's still playing music today, and he's played with a lot of great people. And I mean, you're going to play with everybody, dude. You're going to play with everyone. But Scott Sherrard is an amazing musician.
So he's actually like, I don't know when we're gonna do one again, but a little while ago we were doing online lessons, and I learned a couple songs just note for note with him, and he's really nice.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Well, listen, where can people find you, champ?
So we have a website, and it's called just champjaxon.com, or the Champ Jaxon Band. You can look it up on Google or whatever and find it. And we actually have merch on the website, and we got t-shirts and hats, and I think we have some cups too. We got the albums also for sale on the website. It's merch.
And it's Jaxon, Jaxon, Jaxon.
Yeah. And I've got some advice for you, buddy. In that other 20 minutes when you're not playing, start studying NFTs, because you're ready to start making some real dough, dude. So you got to learn about NFTs. You heard it here. I'm telling you, that's where you want to be.
Luther, man, thank you guys for taking the time, both of you.
Yeah.
And Luther, where is there a website? Is it?
Yeah, it's a NMS All-Stars, North Mississippi Allstars. It's out there, man.
And can't wait to see you in person again soon. And we're missing. Go ahead.
Champ, I want to invite you, man. We do a rock and roll camp up in Woodstock in New York. It's called Roots Rock Revival, and it's the first week of August, man. Roots Rock Revival, man. If you and your dad could ever come up, it would be so great. We started it with Butch Trucks of the Allman Brothers, and Dwayne and Barry, and it's Graham Lesh, Phil's son. It's so fun. That's where Brandon, Taz. That's where Taz was discovered. Yeah, he showed up at 12, and Butch took him under his wing, man. And if not this year, next year, man, or email me or something. But yeah, come to Roots Rock Revival, man. You would love it.
Is Butch Denner involved with that at all? Do you know Butch Denner?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had him on last week, and I think he might have even mentioned that camp.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, Champ, we'll have to get you out to jam with us sometime. We had Taz come out and play with us years ago. Norwood put together.
And Norwood and I, all these guys, but Norwood and I and Flea are working on building a music school in South Los Angeles in Watts, a very rough, challenged neighborhood. And when we get that school open, we're going to want you to come out and talk to some of the kids in the school as well. So you got a big future ahead of you. Just the commitments right here on this show are going to keep you busy for a while.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, listen, don't go away just yet. Next show, August 11th, is huge. We've got Jackson Brown and Tal Wilkenfeld as our guests on the next show. So we're super excited about that. We're missing our friend Stephen Perkins. By the way, Stephen Perkins is in the studio right now, rehearsing with Porno for Pyros and flying to Chicago tomorrow to play Lollapalooza. So he had to miss the show because they're rehearsing right now. And of course, Sheila Conlon, who popped in very quickly. Scotty's going to be heading out on an airplane shortly to head out to meet Sheila in Denver.
Yep. I'm flying up to go play with George Clinton.
Norwood's
and I'll be with George Clinton when Jackson Brown and Tal is on too.
Awesome. Well, maybe we can get him to pop in and just say hello.
That would be great.
Awesome.
Well, listen, hang out real quick. We're going to close this show out. Luther, again, thanks, brother, man.
Thank you, guys.
Champ, thank you.
Thank you.
And until our next show.
See you next time on the Rock and Talk Show Beyond Backstage with your hosts, Norwood Fisher, Kenny Olson, Scott Page, Stephen Perkins, Sheila Conlon, and David Moss. Executive producers, Sheila Conlon and David Moss. Producer and director, Eric Lloyd. Assistant producer and creative director, Mark Armentano. Editor, Graham Cooper. Theme music by ThinkX. Sponsors, IK Multimedia and Lewitt Microphones. Artist Relations, TPI Films. Special thanks to From the Earth, ThinkX, The Conlon Company, and Mac. Check us out on YouTube/The Rock and Talk Show, Facebook and Instagram at The Rock and Talk Show.
And there you have it. Until the
Awesome.
next show, we'll see you all.